2,000 years ago, a man who owned nothing wrote one of the most powerful books ever written about the human mind. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men on earth. And every morning, before he faced the day, he wrote in a private journal notes to himself about how to think, how to act, how to stay human under impossible pressure. He never intended for anyone to read it. We call it meditations, and the practices inside it work exactly as well today as they did then. Because the brain hasn't changed. The challenges have. The brain hasn't. The Stoics built a system for mental control 2,000 years before neuroscience had the tools to explain why it works. Today we have those tools, and every habit in this video has both ancient wisdom and modern science behind it. 7 Stoic habits. Starting now. 1. Begin each day by expecting difficulty. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius wrote the same kind of entry. He reminded himself that today he would meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest. That things would not go according to plan, that discomfort was coming. Not to be pessimistic, to be prepared. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. By mentally rehearsing what could go wrong before the day begins, you remove the shock when it does, and when the shock is gone, the emotional reaction shrinks with it. Modern research on stress inoculation confirms what the Stoics knew intuitively. People who mentally prepare for difficulty perform significantly better under pressure than those who expect smooth conditions. Every morning, take 2 minutes. Ask, what could be hard today? Who might challenge me? What might not go as planned? Then go in ready. 2. Control only what you can control. This is the foundation of all Stoic thought. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential philosophers in history, built his entire philosophy around one distinction. Some things are up to you. Some things are not up to you. Your thoughts, your effort, your response, your values, your attention, not up to you. Other people's behavior, outcomes, the past, the weather, your reputation. Most suffering comes from spending energy on the second category while neglecting the first. Every time you catch yourself anxious about something outside your control, an outcome, someone else's opinion, a circumstance you cannot change, ask, is this up to me? If not, release it. If yes, act on it. This is not passivity. It is precision. You stop wasting force on walls you cannot move and direct everything toward the door. 3. Voluntary discomfort. The Stoics practice something that sounds strange until you understand it. They regularly chose hardship on purpose. Seneca would periodically eat the simplest food, wear rough clothing, sleep on a hard surface, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He called it rehearsing poverty. His reason, if you know you can handle the worst, you stop fearing it. And when you stop fearing it, it loses its power over your decisions. Neuroscience calls this systematic desensitization. Repeated controlled exposure to discomfort reduces the stress response associated with it. The more often you voluntarily choose the cold shower, the hard workout, the uncomfortable conversation, the more your nervous system learns that discomfort is survivable. You stop making decisions based on what's comfortable. You start making them based on what's right. Choose something difficult this week on purpose, not because you have to, because you are building the tolerance that will define how you respond when the difficulty chooses you. 4. The view from above. When you're in the middle of a crisis, When something feels catastrophic, personal, overwhelming, the Stoics had a practice. Zoom out. Marcus Aurelius wrote about imagining himself from a great height, looking down at the events of his life from the perspective of centuries. The argument, the setback, the embarrassment. Seen from that distance, how significant is it really? Psychologists call this cognitive diffusion, creating mental distance between yourself and the experience so it doesn't consume your entire field of view. Research shows it reliably reduces emotional intensity and improves decision quality under stress. The next time something feels too big, zoom out. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? In 10 years? What would this look like from above? You don't minimize what's real. You simply refuse to let proximity distort your perspective. 5. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. This is the most confronting Stoic practice and the most powerful. The Stoics kept death close, not morbidly, but deliberately. They wore rings engraved with the reminder. They ended their days reflecting on their mortality. Their reasoning was precise. If you know your time is finite, you stop wasting it. You stop postponing the things that matter. You stop spending days on trivialities while the important things wait. Steve Jobs said he looked in the mirror every morning and asked, "If today were my last day, would I want to do what I'm about to do?" When the answer was no too many days in a row, he knew something needed to change. This is not morbid. This is clarifying. Ask yourself today, if this were my last week, what would I stop doing? What would I start doing? What would I stop tolerating? Then act accordingly. 6. Evening review. Every night, Seneca reviewed his day with 3 questions. What did I do wrong today? What did I do right? What could I have done better? Not to punish himself, to extract the lesson so the next day started stronger than this one ended. Modern research on deliberate practice, the science of how experts actually develop mastery, confirms that feedback loops are essential to improvement. Talent without reflection doesn't compound. Effort without review doesn't refine. Most people end the day and move straight into the next one. The same patterns repeat. The same errors recur because nothing forced the lesson out. Take 5 minutes tonight. 3 questions. No judgment. Just honesty and adjustment. 7. Act for the collective, not just the self. The Stoics believed deeply that individual excellence was not enough, that you were part of something larger, a community, a species, and that your actions carried an obligation beyond your own benefit. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." This is not just philosophy, it is psychology. Research consistently shows that people who have a clear sense of purpose beyond themselves, who feel they are contributing to something larger, demonstrate significantly higher resilience, motivation, and life satisfaction than those who don't. Ask yourself regularly, who benefits from what I'm building? Who am I becoming for, beyond myself? When the answer is clear, the hard days get easier. Not because they hurt less, because they mean more. 7 habits. Ancient origin. Modern confirmation. Expect difficulty. Control only what's yours. Choose voluntary discomfort. Zoom out. Remember your mortality. Review every evening. Act for something beyond yourself. The Stoics didn't call this self-improvement. They called it philosophy, the love of wisdom. But the result is the same. A mind that does not break under pressure. a life that is not wasted on things that don't matter. 2,000 years later, the work is the same. See you next week.